Morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about my most recent business partnership separation and why I believe it happened. So it's Thursday today, so I talk about past experiences, talking about past business experiences here, fairly recent ones, but talking about a recent business partnership separation that occurred and the reasons why. And first and foremost, I'm not going to mention names of business partners, etc., because they are in pure light transparency. I'm going to try and be as transparent as I possibly can from my side, but I'm not going to name people that I don't have permission to name. So that's one thing I won't be doing. I'll be mentioning company because obviously part of my company that I built, so I can talk about that. But there's nothing in here that everyone thinks business partnership separation is going to be a chance to get back at a business partner or give them some sly digs and all that side of things. This is absolutely not that case. And in this instance, I can honestly say that the separation was completely amicable. And I've had business partnership separations in the past that haven't been amicable and that have cost me a lot of money. And the person who I separated from acted in a very deceptive and fraudulent manner and nearly put me under, to be honest with you. So I'll go into detail on that one on another episode. But this is my most recent business partnership separation, and it's to do with the company systems and outsourcing that I was doing. I co-owned and built over the last 2.5 years to 6 figures. And like I said, using the different ends of the spectrum, the historical business partnership failure, and there's been a few others as well that I'll talk to you about over the course of time. But one business partnership separation in my life nearly wiped me out, and it was very, very deceptive and dishonest, and it was a horrendous experience, probably one of the worst experiences of my life. This one, for all of the I suppose the feeling of negativity when a business partnership fails, it was done in the right way and the amicable way for the right reasons. And I think I don't think there's been a bad taste left in anybody's mouth, which is really, really important. So, systems outsourcing, spent 2.5 years building with one other partner, and then about a year into the growth of that business, another partner joined. So there was 3 of us. When we separated, I left, and then shortly after, the second partner left very, very quickly after me. So that's kind of how it happened and how it was founded. But let me give you some background into the structure of this partnership. It was a true 50-50, or even when a third partner came in, it was equal, so it was a third. So the idea is that we're forming a leadership team, all with different unique skills and capabilities to take different parts of the business and drive it forward. And we did everything the right way. I mean, there's a book called Traction by Gino Wickman, and I'll do a more detailed review on that in another episode. And I keep saying this, but I've got so many episodes lined up. Basically, we followed that model about company values and finding alignment to make sure that we were aligned. And I think at the very beginning, we certainly were, because some of the key core values that were created was the importance of friends and family and personal life, the value of never underestimating the value of time. And these were 2 of the biggest ones that we ultimately, systems and outsourcing was selling the commodity of time, or giving people the opportunity to put systems and processes in place to get their time back. So we needed to practice what we preached. So I was completely on board with that. I suppose the first issue that I could see happened was that the business partner that I joined at the very beginning had already had the idea of what the systems and outsourcing company was. Okay, and he founded it in that regard. So it was his initial idea, and he had this vision for what it was going to be. And I bought into that vision. He sold that vision to me when I came on board. And the reason that came about was because of my journey from working 60 hours a week to less than 6 hours a month in 6 months by applying the principles that the conversations with this business partner had led me down. So there's a lot of That's the reason this business partnership came about. I was the person who implemented this stuff to get the best results. So just saying hello to this person. Morning. So basically, I was proof that this stuff worked, which then gave us the platform and me as a case study to really drive the sales of this product moving forwards. But I think the first issue here I can see came about because it was still my other business partner's baby in his eyes. And even though he'd agreed to sharing 50% of it at the time, and then later on he'd share 67% of it when the third partner got introduced, but I think he realised that he didn't want to let that element of control go. And it's not necessarily control. Well, I suppose it is control, but when you create something, I mean, one thing we couldn't put a figure on is how long that idea had been cultivated to get it to, the idea and the instruction that I was given at the very early stages before we evolved it to what it is today. And I think if you build something yourself, if I put myself in the opposite shoes, my property business, I've had one business partner who left in a horrible scenario, and I have another business partner in it now who came in further down the field. And I think he gets the fact that I built the property business. So I suppose from a lockdown perspective, not a lockdown, a lockout perspective, so I've got lockdown combined with COVID, a lockout perspective, if there was a dispute in things, my vote would carry a little bit extra weight because of my history and involvement in the business. Whereas obviously we tried to put that in place with systems outsourcing, but I think it just got taken a bit more to the extreme as the years progressed and how our visions for the business probably changed. So that's one. And the second thing I'd like to say is that my business partner that I separated from in systems and outsourcing, I trust implicitly. He has the utmost, one of the highest levels of integrity you can meet in a person. Respect him, I'm still very much a friend of his, and that's the really positive thing to come from this. We still help each other in our different ways forward. But I just think that it was possibly, we talked about time and lifestyle and all that side of things, but this guy is possibly the hardest worker I've ever met in my life. And that's because he truly loves what he does, which is phenomenal. I truly love what I do as well, but I'm not saying that he doesn't, but my family and the expectations on my young family were what I put first. I'm not saying he didn't, but his family, other people's family demographics are slightly different. I've got 3 young kids, which obviously, and homeschooling environment that obviously creates huge challenges. So I had to put that first. And I think that then there became a resentment when somebody is perceived to be doing more hours than the other partners. So obviously, from an equality standpoint, because that was never really addressed, it was something that festered in the background and then created this feeling of minor resentment, not dislike, but resentment. So I think that's a second one. Another reason for how they separated is that the vision changed and pivoted so many times. Now, this is normal when you're growing a business. You have to pivot and change, and that's one of the positives of running a small business. You have that adaptability and that ability to pivot and change with the climate or the environment. But we pivoted so many times, and every time we pivoted, the amount of work that generated was huge. And I think it caused a bit of resentment, I suppose, from the opposite side when we were making these pivots where we were putting huge amounts of hours, sacrifices from our family, etc. And then we just completely changed direction, and all that work would have been done for nothing. So that kind of leadership was another area that caused a little bit of distaste. And the other one was that we branched out into these 2 separate joint venture opportunities. One was systems for rent-to-rent, and one was for systems for online sellers. And these 2 businesses had huge potential. And as the split separated, I came across the systems for rent-to-rent with the partner in that business, which was Jack Wicks, and we've now formed an alliance moving forward I talked about previously. And the other partner separated off and took systems for online sellers. And I think that was a really sensible move, because all of these businesses had huge opportunity, but we didn't have the resource to commit enough time to any of them to ensure the success. So that's really, really important. So yeah, so that's a biggie. So I think that's a really good reason for why the separation happened. And I suppose the third one for me was the way the kind of staffing side of the business was managed. And we got it to a 6-figure business, and the profits should have been significantly higher than they were. And it was because of the point that we had this massive team. At one point, we had 14 virtual assistants, and I think there was one UK member of staff as well. For a business only doing 6 figures, that's a massive team. And one of the metrics that I was always taught was revenue per head. And the revenue per head was so low, the profitability of the company was never as high as it should have been. It wasn't high. It could have been a highly profitable company. But we took on a huge amount of overhead, and each of us had different opinions on that. My views was that you recruit as you can afford to recruit. But the underlying view of the business was, let's build this team that gives us a platform to scale to 7 figures and beyond. And I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong, but the way I grew my property business was recruiting when we can afford it, and ensuring that the wages that the directors or the dividends that the directors would be taking was protected. It wasn't in this case. And when you're doing some weeks 50, 60 hours, it's I'm just doing my blog, mate, so I'll catch up with you in a minute. This is my coach, Marcy. I'll speak to you in a bit, Marcy. That's the joys of running around here. You see all your running pals. So that's my coach, Neil Marsh. Shameless plug. He founded High Runners. We talked about it recently, and he also does Neil Marsh Health and Fitness. He's taking it online. He's a truly inspirational guy. If you get a chance to look him up, Neil Marsh Health and Fitness, and Histon Limpington Runners or High Runners. So back to what I was talking about. My way of growing a business was different. And I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong, but there was a slight disconnect there. So they're the kind of main reasons. And all of those things, some of them on an individual basis would have been relatively minor. But when you start putting them together, the compounding effect of that can create an environment that's no longer enjoyable to work in. And that's where I found myself. And one of the most important values in my life, where I am at the stage in my career and my business journey, my journey of entrepreneurship, is happiness. I don't chase the shiny pennies anymore. Shiny pennies are important, of course, but not as important as they were when I was fresh out of university. Built my asset base. My income fluctuates. I want to make it more secure, 100%. But what's more important to me is doing what I love. And I wasn't loving the environment I was working in, and that was the biggest thing that made me decide, I need to leave. And I think to add salt to the wound is when you have issues in a leadership team, and you end up having more meetings, and then more meetings you spend, you feel less productive and less motivated. And we were having meetings 2 hours plus. We weren't accomplishing anything multiple times a week. At one point, I think I had 20 hours worth of meetings a week, which is not how I want to run a business. It's not working smart in my eyes. So that was another reason to say, this isn't for me. So that's my story. I'm sure the other partners will have their own, but I stand by the fact that both of the partners I have the utmost respect for. They're both still very much friends, and we'll help each other. And we did things in the right way in terms of the separation. And it's highly amicable. There's no mistrust or deception involved. And as far as business partnership separations go, it was probably my most favourite, 100%, because there's been several of them in the past, and they've all been highly negative. Although this did create a lot of negative energy, it was done in a very professional and a correct way, in my book, with no distaste from my side. And I'd like to think there's no distaste from the other people involved as well. So that's my story. I think the moral to the story is, if you're going to, I think I talked to you about the survival rate of businesses. It's 2.7% over the course of time is what the likelihood of a business surviving, which is incredibly low. So it's always, if you're a serial entrepreneur, you're going to expect business partnership failures. And something that Russell Brunson, someone I follow very closely, said was one of his mentors said that he would never invest or